What if you tried to mail an elephant? Let's say for the sake of curiosity and possibly against the advice of several international laws, you decide to mail an elephant. Not just any elephant, a full-grown African bull elephant, the kind that weighs as much as 5 cars, eats like it's prepping for hibernation, and does not appreciate being stuffed into boxes. But let's assume for science that your elephant is extremely cooperative. The first thing you'd need is a box. Not just any box, a box roughly the size of a small house, made from materials strong enough to hold 6 tons of mildly annoyed muscle. You could try cardboard, but unless it's reinforced with steel and dreams, it's not going to hold up. Still, for the sake of postal tradition, let's label it fragile and slap a big sticker on it that says "this side up," as if that's going to help. Now for the logistics. The United States Postal Service, FedEx, and UPS all have weight limits, typically somewhere around 150 pounds. Your elephant exceeds that by about 12,000 pounds, not counting snacks. So, you're out of luck with regular shipping. Time to consider freight. You call a freight company. "Hi, I'd like to mail an elephant." Click, they hang up. You try again. This time you say it's a very large, emotionally sensitive item. They ask, "Is it alive?" Technically, yes. They suggest not mailing it. But again, for science we persist. Let's say we find a carrier willing to do it. You rent a cargo plane. It costs about $20,000 per hour to operate a large freighter, and you're going to need at least 1 full day of flight time, not including refueling and the emotional toll on the elephant. You also need documentation, customs forms, vaccination records, endangered species permits, and possibly therapy notes. The elephant, for its part, would probably prefer to walk, but we insist on mailing it. Now you face another problem: packaging. Elephants don't like being confined. They also don't like loud noises, sudden movements, or being strapped to a forklift. You install padding, a food dispenser, a water tank, and an in-flight entertainment system tuned to the Discovery Channel. Your elephant is as comfortable as a 6-ton animal in a crate can be. The box is loaded onto the plane with industrial cranes. It takes a crew of 10 people and a lot of peanut-based bribery. The flight takes off, and all is going well, until turbulence. The elephant shifts its weight. The center of gravity of the entire aircraft moves slightly. The pilots panic. You may have just invented a flying pachyderm-based pendulum system. Fortunately, let's say they land safely. Your elephant arrives in another country, but now it's customs time. An official opens the crate, sees 2 tons of gray confusion, and faints. More paperwork follows. Someone asks if the elephant has anything to declare. No one is laughing anymore. Assuming everything goes surprisingly well, the box is loaded onto a truck. The truck drives to the delivery address, a suburban home, with a mailbox that definitely was not designed for pachyderm-sized deliveries. The driver rings the doorbell and waits. A man opens the door, sees the enormous box, and says, "Oh good, it finally came." But now comes the biggest problem. How do you get it out of the box? Opening the box causes the elephant to trumpet and charge out like a very large, confused toddler who skipped nap time. It crashes through a backyard fence, steps on a trampoline, bounces, and accidentally lands in the neighbor's pool. The neighbors are not amused. The elephant, however, seems to enjoy the water. So, what have we learned? Mailing an elephant is technically possible, but economically disastrous, logistically terrifying, and emotionally scarring for everyone involved. It would cost tens of thousands of dollars, require enough paperwork to deforest a small nation, and probably result in a mild international incident. In short, if you really want to send someone an elephant, it's probably better to send them a drawing. Unless, of course, you are the elephant, in which case, I hope you packed snacks.